Hey guys, it's me, Carlo, aka StrikeFreedom78. Today is more of a personal video journal for me, and I just wanted to express this because because I've been through a whole lot of things over the course of my entire life, and one of the things that I look back very fondly is my high school existence. And one of the reasons why I look back on my high school days so fondly is because I made a whole lot of friends, and when I started in high school, there were people who actually did care for me, and they went out of their way to make sure that I wasn't bullied, and they also did not tolerate bullying of any kind, and also, and not to mention, during that time I was introduced to a certain entry of the Final Fantasy series, and I look back, and I always looked back on that entry fondly, and that entry being Final Fantasy VII. I played the original PlayStation 1 version. I first started playing that during my junior year in high school, and the person who recommended this to me, I'm just only gonna say her first name. Her name was Kato. Her real name is Caitlin, but a lot of people just called her Kato. But that's how I began to call her. So Kato, she introduced me to Final Fantasy VII during my junior year, when I started in my junior year high school drama class in 2005. And when I played it, I was hooked. I had to admit, I was hooked. And after playing that game, I also got wind of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which was being touched upon in various different video game magazines, like Electronic Gaming Monthly, which I was subscribed to back in the day, back before digital magazines were even a thing. And when I watched Advent Children, I was just like, oh my god, it was so beautiful. And looking back on it now, I just wanted to say that that game actually defined my entire high school existence, because a lot of those characters in that game, they reminded me of a lot of the characters in that game reminded me of the people that I knew back at Bishop Kenny, and it was just very touching to see these characters come to life that I've never seen them before. And I mainly remembered the Final Fantasy being in 2D back, and one of the entries that introduced me to the Final Fantasy series was Final Fantasy IV and Final Fantasy VI, which was given to me by another one of my classmates back in high school through Super NES emulator. And that's how I got to know the Final Fantasy series at first. And then I was first introduced to the RPG scene with Kingdom Hearts. And then when I found out about some of the characters being Final Fantasy characters, throughout my high school career, I was just finding out what it was all about. And I feel blessed that I got to know him. And the very first game that I ever did play to a big extent, and the one that I connected to emotionally, was Final Fantasy VII, because in truth, as I played it, I felt like I was seeing an in-game version of myself through the main protagonist, Cloud Strife. And here he is, right here in the Bring Arts version. I have other iterations of him on my shelf right here to my right, even though the orientation is for is mirrored, but I just want to say that that emotionally back in those days, or in a sense still today, I'm still like Cloud. Um, there were times that we can appear cold towards other people sometimes, but in actuality, I'm actually a very nice guy, and I always like to see the good in people. I always like to see people bring out the best in each other, and I always like to but at the same time, I'm also introverted. There's things that I keep close to my heart, and I sometimes don't have the courage to say it sometimes. And the same thing applies with Cloud. And we both put on an air of bravado sometimes to hide our insecurity sometimes, and oftentimes that can lead to hurting the people that we love. So in a sense, Cloud and I are basically kindred spirits. I see myself in Cloud because in back in high school, I was the odd one out. I was the kid that was getting picked on the most, and but there were times when some of my upperclassmen they came to my aid, but when I was becoming a senior myself, I had to set an example for the underclassmen that were below me, and also and so I wanted to become someone who would be accepted by everybody, and just like Cloud was, and like Cloud, both he and I, we tried to look cool, but there were times where we'd actually act like a complete dork. We act like complete dorks, and that certainly applied in my life during high school. One of the reasons why I connect with Cloud so much is because during those times, Cloud and I were we were fractured people. Back in high school, I was still I was still lost. I was still I was lost, and I didn't know which direction I was going to be going in my life. And I was just I was just the awkward kid back then, but I was always showing kindness towards other people, and I was very liked back in high school, and I was just trying to be a nice guy, trying to do good by others, and hopefully someone would do the same for me. And we were doing so much to do right by people and to have people accept us into their lives. And oftentimes we felt lost. And as I played the game, and when Cloud retrieves the black materia, and then when they reach the when they reach the forgotten city of the Cetra, and when Cloud loses control, when Sephiroth tries to take him over, Cloud resists, and then seeing that, Sephiroth comes in and finishes Aerith off as she was praying at the altar, and everything after that just went downhill from there. And like Cloud, there were times when my head can be a little bit messed up sometimes, but I still had my friends to turn to for support. And And during my high school years, I was still, as I said, I was still lost. I was directionless in life, and not to mention, I was also in a very, very dark place in my mind sometimes during that time as well. Because ever since freshman year in high school, I always had this me against the world mentality, and I always felt like the world was working against me, and I felt like whenever I tried to defend myself, I felt like I was becoming very aggressive. I was doing my best not to be angry, not to lash out. It was hard, and for the first time in my life, I felt I didn't know what to do, and I was also trying to figure out who I was as a person. I was trying to figure out where in the world would I fit. And as I played, as I progressed through Final Fantasy VII, I was when I saw Tifa and Cloud just fall into the live stream. When Tifa sees when she sees Cloud's mind, his mind was fractured. It's like he's lost his sense of being, and he doesn't he's so when he was in a cat I mean he was in a catatonic state, but when Tifa enters his subconscious, his mind, she sees how fractured Cloud's mind has become, and everything that's led to it, and why his memories became jumbled up. And he was like, and when you look at it, and this is a massive spoiler alert for those who haven't played Final Fantasy VII yet, but for those who have played it, man, it was an emotional journey when I first played that, and I was just I felt like at one point in my life that's how I felt. We were all just, both Cloud and I, we were just looking for people to accept us, to love us, and and Tifa saved him. And in a way, a lot of my friends that I knew back at Bishop Kenny, the high school I attended at, they were like Tifa. They saved me, and and they also taught me how to stand up for myself, and how to fight for others who aren't able to fight for themselves when they can't defend themselves. They taught me how to be a sword and a shield for others who cannot fight back against those who are persecuting them. And I felt like that's how I found a purpose in my life, where I can stand up for someone, where I can be there for someone who needs it. And it also taught me to be kind and to never lash out aggressively. In a way, as I played Final Fantasy, and as I played through the game where Tifa helps Cloud regain his consciousness, he regain his memories, regain his identity. I felt like that was how I basically found my identity, and it all started with that junior year. Back when I met Kato, back when I started the drama in the drama department of my high school, and at the same time I also joined the high school chorus, and throughout my junior and senior year, my network of friends has quadrupled. I basically made a lot of friends during those years, and I actually consider myself proud of that. and I consider myself touched. Just like Cloud here. Just like Cloud in the game. As soon as Cloud regains his sense of identity and how in implementing some of the aspects of the personality that he adopts after witnessing all the tragedies that have happened to him in the 5 years prior to the game, both of us have found a sense of a purpose, or sense of identity. And it also, in doing so, it allowed us to open up more. It's one of the things that I look back upon my high school days so fondly. And like Cloud, it was like I found my sense of identity. I'm trying my best not to cry, but when I look back on these memories so fondly, and it's just so heartwarming for me. I feel like Final Fantasy VII overall, that's an amalgamation of me growing up, trying to find my sense of identity, trying to find my sense of self, trying to find my purpose in life while staying true to myself. And as I said, whenever I play Final Fantasy VII, even now, I still see myself as Cloud more than any other Final Fantasy character that exists right now, because I feel like Cloud and I are kindred spirits, and we're very similar. We're very similar because both of us are introverted. Both of us are, at times, we're broken people. And I can connect with Cloud in a degree that I couldn't even think possible. That's why Cloud Strife and all of Final Fantasy VII holds a special place in my heart. And how Final Fantasy VII basically defined my entire high school existence. And it's just, I just wanted to let people know that Final Fantasy VII holds a special place in my heart because of what I've been through in high school, and how many friends I've made, and also the fond memories I've made. That game is very special for me. And it made me feel a range of emotions that I never thought possible, and made me connect with a character that I never knew that I would connect to at such a spiritual level. Cloud Strife, as I said, he's like a reflection. He's like a reflection of me when I was just a brash teenager back in high school. In a sense, Cloud is like me. And basically, Final Fantasy VII is as I said, it holds a special place in my heart because it's through this game that I met a lot of my classmates who would eventually become my friends, as well as meeting a teacher who also loved this game and who also holds it in a special place in his heart. And he reminds me of a certain character in the game, just as grouchy and just as hot-blooded. And it's thanks to that game that I'm the man that I am now. I've become kinder. I've become more open. I've become. Even though I'm still a bit of an introvert, I'm still opening up to people. And I also still stand for people who can't stand up for themselves, who can't defend themselves. And as I said, it's because of Final Fantasy VII that I became the person that I am today. And as I said, Cloud, he's a perfect representation of me. And he's also, and he's a character that I can relate to and can draw inspiration from. So whenever I feel separated from my friends, or whenever I feel alone, I can look back on this game and think of all the happy memories I've made and all the friends I've made. That's about all I can do. And that's why Final Fantasy VII is the definitive Final Fantasy game for me, and why it holds such a special place in my heart. And when the Final Fantasy VII remake was announced, in both the tech demos as well as in E3 2015, 2019, all that, I was happy. I was very happy. And now I was able to finally finish Remake. And I've been playing Remake so I can prepare myself to play Rebirth, and when I actually get it for the PS5, and when I actually do get a PS5 in the near future. So I'm really hoping that I'll be able to experience everything that I knew from Final Fantasy VII, and even new concepts that have never been addressed before in the previous game or in the original game. I'm really hoping that I'll be able to reconnect with a very fond very fond high school memories, being able to reconnect with friends who also played the game, who also love this game just as much as I do. I think that's about all I can say. And as I said, this video is more for me, and it's a personal video diary, and also going into my thoughts. I feel like this needs to be heard, and I also want to let people know about how much Final Fantasy VII means to me, and how it changed my life. And that's the one thing that I want to express in this video. And that's one of the reasons why I collect a lot of action figures that appeal to me. Like, I've collected I started collecting the Final Fantasy VII figures, basically all of the Final Fantasy figures back in 2006, back when the the regular play arts were being sold at local GameStops before they were being sold at specialty comic book stores. And I was particularly lucky when my father was alive that we were able to pre-order the first first wave of Final Fantasy VII Game Edition Play Arts figures of Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. I was able to find Yuffie about a few years later, and because I was able to find her about maybe a year or two later, because she was a peg warmer during that time, and no one was picking her up. So I bought that one, and I also quite recently got the another extra Knights figure of Cloud Strife from Awesome Toys Jax before they shuttered their doors last year, and this year I was able to get a second Play Arts in 2009 version of Cloud Strife, and I also got as I showed you earlier, I also managed to get the Bring Arts version of Cloud as well, because it represented the original art style from the original game, and as I said, Cloud and I are like kindred spirits, so that's one of the reasons why I had to get that one. I got two, in fact, because I wanted to have this particular Cloud that I'm holding right now as a display piece for my and also for my toy photography, and I decided to keep the other one in the box. That's the way I can display it to show my love for this character. And I also still have the autographed photo print of both of Barrett Wallace, as well as his original voice actor, Bo Billingsley. I managed to get that one from Collective Con 2019, back when Bo Billingsley first visited Jacksonville, and that was my very first con that I actually got to meet a voice actor or celebrity. Well, and as I said, Final Fantasy VII holds a very special place in my heart, and I'll still continue to love it even to this day. So anyway, that's pretty much my personal video journal that I'm going to be posting onto YouTube. And as I said, this video diary is basically meant for me, but I want to post this video journal entry out there so that everyone can know why I love Final Fantasy VII the way I do, and why I do this, why I collect what's in my room, and why I love to collect, and why I love the things I love. So anyway, that's my video journal entry. So if you like this content, please consider subscribing and to my channel for any videos that I may have in my for any videos for my collection that you want me to take a look at and share with you. And if you have any requests on the figures that I do have, please leave them in the comments below and keep everything friendly, because as I said, I will not tolerate any negativity in my comment section. Any negativity that's found in there will be deleted, and that person will automatically be blocked. Period. So anyway, it's me, Carlo, StrikeFrame78, and this has been my personal video journal. Peace out, God bless, stay safe, and above all, stay kind. Later.